San Vito.The Normanni is an Italian town of 19,947 inhabitants of the province of Brindisi in Apulia. The inhabitants are called Sanvitesi and the town is sometimes referred to as San Vito. Physical geography. The town is located in the northeast of the Salento Plains, not far from the Etria Valley. The geomorphology of the land is flat, slightly undulating on the border with the municipalities of Caravagna and Ostiuni. It is located 9 kilometers from the Adriatic coast. The port near Specchiola, a historic marine residence of San Vito. San Vito also is 5 kilometers from the Tor Guasato, located in Serenova, a nature reserve, accessible by foot or bicycle, and 12 kilometers from the tower which gives its name to the protected area. The Ionian Sea is about 45 kilometers away. Its altitude is around 100 meters above sea level, precisely between 57 to 146 meters. The highest point of the city center is located in Contrada Castello del Cest, 1,190 meters ASL. Territory. The nature of the San Vito soil is limestone. The landscape is characterized by cultivated fields with oak and olive trees and divided by stone walls used to separate farms. The distances from major cities of Puglia are 21.6 kilometers from Brindisi, 59.1 kilometers from Lecce, 61.1 kilometers from Taranto, 101.6 kilometers from Bari, 152.7 knots from Trani, 160.8 kilometers from Andria, 165.8 kilometers from Barletta, 235.3 kilometers from Foggia. Climate. Based on averages of 30 years reference, the average temperature of the most cold month, January, stands around 9.5 degrees Celsius, while that of hot month, August, is around 25 degrees Celsius. Precipitation averages less than 600 mm per year. Climate classification of San Vito. Climate Zone C. Etymology. The name of the city once included the words degli Schiavoni, meaning of the Slavs. To escape the persecutions of the Saracens, they migrated from Slavonia to the opposite coast of the Adriatic, settling in late 963 in the fertile regions of Apulia. After that, the town was called simply St. Vitus, or St. Vitus of the Slavs, or El San Vito in Terra di Trento. In 1863, after being returned to the Kingdom of Italy, which had been formed in 1861, the name of San Vito degli Schiavoni was changed and it assumed its current name of San Vito.The Normanni, in honor of the man who is considered the founder of the medieval village, Beaumont of Hauteville, son of Robert Guiscard. History. Archaeological remains of a tomb in the Mondacine area contain the remains of 30 burials and various ceramics dating to 1800 BC to 1700 BC, show that the area was inhabited during the Bronze Age. Also, prehistoric settlements have been found belonging to Mesopotamia in the castle and Paritone area. The village dates back to the Middle Ages, presumably by a colony of Slavs escaping the persecutions of the Saracens, and decided to settle in the fertile areas of San Vito, founding Castro Sancti Viti. Some scholars believe that the city was founded by the Norman Beaumont of Hauteville, son of Robert Guiscard, who, to satisfy his love of hunting, ordered the construction of a square tower, which still exists today. The small village originally grew in the late Middle Ages when the Normans ensured security from the constant attacks of the Saracens. This relative calm gave the opportunity to develop Sanvitesi trade, and to dominate the surrounding territory. It was in the 15th century that the town was organized as a commune, though feudal servitude continued. The commune belonged to the Alta Villa, then to the Sambiase, then Raymond Orsini of the Balzo and then the Disfrazar. For the 15th century onwards, the city began to widen, extending north and east. In 1484 it was sacked by the Venetians. In 1571, during the Crusades, a handful of Sanvitesi took part in the Battle of Lepanto against the Ottoman Empire. In honor of the victory won, they built the Basilica Santa Maria della Vittoria and then dedicated it to the Madonna della Vittoria. In 1799 it joined the Neapolitan Republic. The population during the 19th century, the city was the seat of various participating circles to the Carbonari. During the fascist period it experienced remarkable urban development. There were many important buildings built such as the Circle Elementary School, the seat of the municipality, and the post office. In 1927, the province of Brindisi was established, which includes San Vito. In 1943, it hosted King Victor Emmanuel III, which was trying to escape to liberation, with Marshal Pietro Badoglio's government. In the early 1960s, the petrochemical industry, in addition to engineering companies and aeronavali of Brindisi San Vito, have moved many workers from working the fields to the assembly line. The opening of the San Vito-Dei Normanni air station into a strategic focal point during the Cold War simultaneously created the work between the locals and received thousands of American workers. It closed after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Today San Vito is marketing to develop tourism, monuments and places of interest. Religious architecture: Church of Santa Maria della Vittoria. Santa Maria della Vittoria, simply called the Mother Church, is the most important religious building in the city. The largest church in the city shows evidence of previous wars from the fist-sized holes that can be seen in and around the exterior. Built in the shape of a Latin cross with 3 naves, a transept and a deep chancel. Inside, valuable paintings such as the icon of Nicosia, depicting the Virgin Mary, announcing to Pope Pius V the victory over the Turks, and a silver statue representing San Vito. On the right side of the basilica there is the Holy Door, opened in October 1995 during celebrations for the 4th centenary of the church, beginning at the Holy Year Jubilee of the church. Also, the occasion was marked by the presentation of a new wooden altar, together all the furnishings of the sanctuary, of Flavio Pancheri. On October 26, 1996, Pope John Paul II, during a special audience called on the Archdiocese of Brindisi Ostuni, and solemnly crowned the icon of Our Lady Nicosia. The Pope proclaimed the church a papal basilica on December 30, 1998. Church of San Giovanni Evangelista. St. John the Evangelist presents the Baroque style. The facade, enlivened by 4 pilasters with Corinthian capitals, are in lacquer stone, which is very soft, allowing for striking decorations. In the church there are 6 paintings, 2 of which placed in a wooden structure which includes frame and canopy. The other 4 are on the side walls. The church was sold by the Disfrazar family of the symbolic sum of 10,000 lire to the city of San Vito. Chiesa Santa Maria degli Angeli. The old church was built around the 15th century. Subsequent modifications took place in 1696 and 1763. It has a simple facade, marked by 6 pilasters with an elegant portal and an oval window with projecting cornices. In its interior are side altars of stone, an altar in polychrome marble, a wood crucifix from the 16th century and an 1809 painting made by Domenico Karela. Church of Santa Maria delle Merced. The Church of St. Francis dates back to 1735 and was commissioned by Prince Fabio Marchese Belprato. At the end of the 19th century, with the arrival of Mercedarian order, there was installed a significantly larger cupola, sanctuary and adjoining convent. The facade has 4 pilasters with Ionic capitals, 2 niches in which there are statues of Our Lady of Mercy and St. Francis of Paola. Inside are chandeliers in wrought iron and the statue, in wood, of St. Francis. Church of Santa Maria del Grazie. The monastery is so named because until 1868, it was next to the convent of the Franciscan Friars Minor. It was built in 1586, at the behest of Prince Palagano Lucius II, with a single aisle. Then, with a subsequent action in 1700, it was added a second, and in 1898 a third. The facade is very simple, and has only 2 windows in the portal and central. In the interior, there are 9 altars in the side stones and paintings depicting the crucifixion. Moreover, in the aisles, there is the Pietà by an unknown author, the Providence and San Salvador from Orte by local artist Giacomo da San Vito. Church of the Annunciation, also called the Church of San Domenico, due to the presence of the nearby convent of the Dominicans until 1809. The church was built around 1584 on land donated by devotees. It has a cusp facade with 2 side pilasters, window and central portal by a local sculptor. In 1984, the collapse of 2 aisles caused the closure for restoration work that lasted a decade. Today, reconstructed, it has reopened for worship and restored the 6 side stone altars of the 18th century and a tapestry from 1769 depicting the Annunciation by artist Domenico Karela. Church of San Michele Arcangelo, built in 1928 by Concetta Carlucci, who in a vision was invited to awaken the worship of the saint in the city. The structure is very simple, has been enriched by a bronze portal surmounted by a lunette with a bas-relief depicting St. Michael the Archangel, by the sculptor Cosimo Giuliano Latiano, and a statue depicting Concetta Carlucci. Other churches: Church of Santa Maria della Pietà, also called Church of the Hospital, Church of Santa Rita, Church of Santa Teresa. Rock settlements. There are many rock art sites within San Vito made by Byzantine monks that fled from Eastern Europe as they were persecuted because of the faith. Such sites include San Biagio, which is located near the Januzzo farm, is a monastic Byzantine sanctuary placed in real rock. The Orthodox rite is drawn inside a cave. It also presents the cells intended for monks, but over time has undergone significant transformations. Like all churches carved out along the last stretch of the Via Francigena, the sanctuary of San Biagio presents votive frescoes dedicated to St. Blaise, St. Nicholas, St. Andrew, St. George, St. James and St. John. The inscriptions on the iconography are all in Greek except one, that of St. Nicholas, which sets in Latin as a sign of religious unity between the Orthodox Church and the Latin Church. St. Nicholas in the San Nicola Malpasso is located halfway between San Vito and Serranova. The crypt and the 4 adjoining caves are located in a small valley, partly carved in rock, partly built in tuff. Inside is the image of St. Nicholas, and traces of frescoes can be seen in the walls of Tufa. Crypt of San Giovanni is a settlement with several rock caves, some partially collapsed, in which 2 small cells were found with traces of graffiti. Another, almost completely underground, is divided into 7 side branches that converge into a central corridor. The crypt presents a pillar around which rests 3 arcs. Parts of frescoes dating back presumably to the 13th century are in the central apse. Crypt of St. Mary. The hamlet of St. James is situated in an old farmhouse which was abandoned in the 15th century. Inside the church has a fresco of the Virgin with Child. Civil architecture. The reza. Reza is a sort of tent located in front of the door of almost every home to protect itself from not only the strong rays of the sun, but by winter storms. The safety is composed of thin plates of wood placed horizontally and parallel to each other, leaving only a few millimeters of space. The shade may be of different colors: purple, green, yellow, brown and beige. San Vito tradition uses the term vecchia critula reza to express the wish to see, indeed spying, without being seen. Archaeological. In the 1990s, just outside the town, specifically in Contrada Castello del Ceste, were found traces of buildings dating back to Iron Age and, following excavations, a large Mesopi settlement, presumably dating from the period between the 7th and 4th centuries BC. The site could become the first archaeodromo of Italy. The archaeological site was the subject of several excavations made by the City Council of San Vito.The Normanni, the archaeological superintendents of Taranto and the University of Salento's Department of Cultural Heritage. Military architecture. Castle of Disfrazar. The medieval Castle of Disfrazar, opposite the town hall with its ancient square tower, overlooks the main town's piazza. The original access was via a drawbridge which was from the box located on the door of the chapel. The first building was undoubtedly the tower, believed to be Norman and dating from the 12th century, built by Beaumont of Hauteville in the 11th century, in a strategic position on the road that passed through the hamlet of San Vito and came to the old road for Oria. It is perfectly intact, still dominates the area of San Vito. The tower has guelphs and ghibellines-like battlements and narrow openings that allows indoor lighting. There is a large courtyard that overlooks the Cinquecento residence, characterized by a series of elegant rectangular boxes around the tower. The castle was probably built originally as the residence of hunters, as once the territory of San Vito completely covered by forests. The entrance to the building consists of a pointed arch. On top is placed a crest of the Dentis family. The stairway leads to a stone porch column on which rest three round arches. Inside retains decorated suites, paintings, hunting trophies and the town archive. The castle is privately owned and inhabited by descendants of the Disfrazar family. Natural areas. The Villa Comunale. The only green space of the city is the Villa Comunale, called the Pinewood due to the presence of large marine pines, and also many palm trees. The park is at the center of the city and surrounds the primary school. Countryside. A few kilometers from the city is Torguasato, a World Wildlife Fund nature reserve of the state whose extension is approximately 1,200 square feet and a seafront which stretches for about 8,000 mt. The marine area is represented by a perfect rectangle, with an average depth of 3,000 meters, crossed and divided by State Road 379. The reserve can be visited only on foot or by bicycle. Society. Demographic evolution. The demographic balance. The municipality as of March 31, 2008 has 19,915 inhabitants, is as follows: 10,365 females and 9,452 males. 7,274 families. The average family component is 2.7. The town, like many towns of Apulia, experienced a slight decrease in population due to the decrease in part by birth rate, which is matched by the fact that many young people decide to complete the university studies in a city in central north, especially Milan, Bologna and Rome. Migrations. San Vito was the subject of extensive emigration during the 20th century, first to the Americas, later towards northern Europe and to northwestern Italy. But today the town has become a destination for immigrants from outside the European Union, a phenomenon that, at least for a decade now, seems to settle into the territory as that of immigration by families from northern Europe, especially English and Irish people. These new arrivals usually consist of pensioners not coming to work, who buy villas in the countryside of San Vito and enjoy the pleasant temperatures all year. This phenomenon, relatively recent in Apulia, is known as Salentoscia, a playful neologism along the lines of Chiantiscia, which refers to the consolidated British tourism in Tuscany. Dialect. The Sanvitese is a Brindisi dialect belonging to the southern extreme Salento family. Some Sanvitese idioms include Figuriu mutilimam alu entendi, Cague muli fieri, Cieti Ivaru California alumanuguira casa mea prima oppioiava passai tiki, Ci anu nasi ciulo caputana, no ppio muri ciulo capu quadrata. The Enciaria. The Enciaria is the nickname that has a valence of mockery and is given to the inhabitants of any Salento town by the inhabitants of nearby towns. The nickname of San Vito is Malachi Uni, that is big mules. The reason for the Enciaria is due to Sanvitese attitude to differences, news and ideas. They tend to remain stubborn on their ideas, even denying the evidence. Like mules, the Sanvitese would have the blinders that are looking only forward without further nuances or points of view. Culture. Education. Libraries. John the 23rd Biblioteca Comunale is the city's first public library, founded by Dominican friars. They possessed thousands of leather-bound books and sorted into 9 large closets. Since 1809 the monks left the monastery and many works were lost. In 1946, Mayor Vincent Trizza appointed a committee to create a new library. They donated 750 volumes and ordered 450 books of classics, 2 encyclopedias, and books by fellow authors. In 1962, the present library was founded through the efforts of Professor Angelo Pagliara, who sent letters to the highest offices of state and the Catholic Church to request materials. Pope John the 23rd was the first to respond and gave 3 volumes of his speeches with handwritten signatures, and, therefore, the library took name. St. Benedict Public Library, founded in 1940, is located in the convent of Benedictine Oblates of St. Scholastica but is open to the public. It features about 26,000 volumes and pamphlets and specializes in biblical theology, patristics, and ecumenism in the history of the Church. Schools. The city has 4 primary schools, and 2 secondary schools that offer degrees, the Leonardo Leo San Vito dei Normanni and the Liceo Scientifico Institute for Professional Women. Rural Museum. The Rural Museum, implemented by local action group Alto Salento, was inaugurated on July 21, 2001 and is currently managed by the Cultural Association AXAS Ondas. The museum, like the town library, is located within the cloister of the Dominicans. The museum houses a remarkable collection of objects and tools that bear witness to everyday rural life between the 18th century and the early 1950s. The tools cover artisans, blacksmiths, carpenters, saddlers, knife grinders, shoemakers and of course farmers. Castello d'Alceste Museum. In the Contrada Castello d'Alceste were found traces of a village huts in the second half of the 8th century BC. It overlaps the 6th century BC buildings, reflecting the surge of new construction techniques and a new way to conceive of living space. The houses of this period are divided into multiple environments and have complex roof systems that make use of tiles. Media Web TV, WebTV.net, Radio Teleradio San Vito, Press Il Punto, Monthly La Colbileno, Bi-monthly Acchio Magazine. Music. The Tarantismo in San Vito. The Tarantismo blends pagan and Christian tradition. In the past it was believed that women who showed forms of hysteria were infected by the bite of the tarantula. The only known remedy was to dance continuously for days, so that the poison did not take effect. Through music and dance to give healing to taranta, creating a real exorcism of musical character. Each time a tarantata exhibiting symptoms associated with taranto, the drummers, fiddlers, mandolin, guitarists and accordionists went in the house of taranta and stakeholders to play the music from at a frantic pace. Now the tarantismo dance and sing 4 hours until they are exhausted. The belief that while their energies were consumed in the dance, even the tarantula is consumed and destroyed. San Vito retains a remarkable tradition of pinchers that, unlike that of Lecce, appears free as a therapeutic repertoire and musical found only in this town. In the 1950s, at least 30 players could be involved in the care of the tarantati. Cuisine. The Sanvitesi's cuisine is characterized by local traditional agricultural products. Local cuisine includes stuffed aubergines and traditional specialities made with the beans and vegetables. Other cuisine includes summer dishes, fries with the cherry tomatoes, olive oil and oregano, and also there is numariadi or tersaniyadi, tasty meat kebabs. Sweets include the mustaswali, chocolate dolcetti, sweet carta date, Christmas cakes in the shape of thin pastry rosettes fried in hot oil, the carpetta cake with almonds, and very soft petli balls of dough fried in hot oil. The municipality is a member of the olive oil coalition Collina Brindisi and the wine coalition called Apulia Wines, which also includes the municipalities of Brindisi, Ostiuni, Latiano and Mezzagna. Almond milk is achieved by creating in an infusion of water with finely chopped almonds, and then squeezing them to bring out all the juice. Puglia region has entered the almond milk in the list of traditional Italian food products. Limoncello is a liquor made from the peel of fresh lemon and enriched with water, sugar and alcohol to be enjoyed both as an aperitif and as a digestive after meals. Wine. The territory of San Vito produces wines such as the Aliatico di Puglia DOC Ostiuni, Puglia IGT. Along the road of the municipality, there are indigenous varieties of grapes, the Negro Moro, Primitivo, and Malvasia, which have been joined over the years by crops of white grapevines. Malvasia Nera di Brindisi is a grape of Greek origin and now widespread in most Mediterranean countries. Its wine, called Malmsey in English, is sweet with a golden hue. In Italy its cultivation has spread from Piedmont to Puglia. Vinified properly, it can also make a dry white wine. Sangiovese is a red grape variety, among the most widespread in Italy. Negro Moro Novali vine, that also called tears, has a special ability to produce rose to its chemical characteristics. Ottovianello leaves a pentagonal green, smooth, opaque and the lower surface light green. Notable Sanvitesi. Giacomo da San Vito, Fra Franciscan Order of Reformed Minor, was a prolific artist and his works can be seen in many towns of Puglia and Basilicata. Leonardo Leo, Baroque composer and founder of Neapolitan musical school of the 18th century. Vito Buonsanti, supporters of the Republican movement, he became monk s Dominican order. He was a master in theology and writer was praised for his innovative ideas about teaching methods. Vito Donato Epifani, jurist, professor of economics at the University of Naples, defense lawyer of poor and dispossessed, the author of numerous essays of political economy, and other literary works. He was elected mayor of San Vito for 2 terms and in 1886, during an outbreak of cholera, worked to use influential friends and by using personal resources to coordinate help to the sick, thus meriting the official government recognition by Crispy Lanza del Vasto, poet, writer, philosopher, religious thinker with a strong mystical vein, but also founding patriarch of rural communities modeled on Gandhi, a non-violent activist against the Algerian war and nuclear weapons. Realino Mara, full professor of philosophy of law, dean of the School of Social Sciences at University of Genoa.